Hey, welcome back to the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel. Tonight I had the pleasure of sitting down with a couple members of the band Spellbook. We're here to talk about the band in general and, of course, talk about the show that's coming up at the Warwick stage in Warwick, New York at Roosevelt Hall and my store, Rock Fantasy's 39th anniversary party. These guys played a gig for me a couple years ago, and we didn't have a huge turnout at the club that night, but I don't remember and I said, got to bring them back. I wanted to put them on a bigger show. And here we are. Originally, we were going to do it in November, got postponed. It's been at like three different venues, and now we got a new venue. So we're looking forward to the Rock Fantasy 39th anniversary. And welcome to the show, guys. Who am I actually chatting with tonight? Introduce yourselves.
I am Nate, lead singer of Spellbook, and I love your record store.
Thank you. Butter me up. And Nick.
Nick, drummer for Spellbook, and likewise, love your record store. We'll be there before the gig.
Good to hear. We're actually going to be open. The store is going to close at 5. So if anybody's watching is traveling in, we're going to close. We're going to be open 12 to 5 that Saturday because I have two employees and both of them want to be at the show. I said, well,
Hell yeah.
one's gonna sacrifice a couple bands so we can stay open because we also Saturday is the busiest day of the week for us. So thank you so much for liking the store. And of course, Nick has been on the Rock Fantasy Files a couple times talking about metal and rock and roll and when we do our regular chats. So I guess what type of music do you classify yourselves as? Either one of you could answer or both.
Nick, go ahead.
This one's hard, man. In an era of everybody wants everything in subgenres and nail it down to a T, and we're just like, man, we just love 70s hard rock.
Okay.
And we try to cover it all. Like if it's from the set, like if you take bands that, obviously Stephen, we love from 1970, 1979, it runs such a wide,
Sure.
like gamut of music that like we want to cover all of that. And then 80s, new wave of British heavy metal,
Mm-hmm.
obviously enters is in there as well. So it's really hard to categorize us other than just like we're just hard rock, proto metal, like
Oh yeah.
that's where
Yeah,
we're
there's a
coming
lot of
from.
different names floating around, like occult rock, proto metal,
Yeah.
doom rock, whatever. But yeah, we formed this band out of our love of 70s rock and roll, so we just always call it, we're just rock and roll.
And yeah, I can hear the new wave of British heavy metal a bit. I can hear when I was listening to one of your albums today at work, you guys saw the post and I was listening to that and I'm like, you got a real heavy edge to it, but yeah, it sounds 70s at time, but I think it's going to be a great show to have you guys on. And are you guys? I think I've noticed from your social media posts that you're working on new material, which will be the follow up to 2022's album Deadly Charms, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we just entered the studio last weekend to start recording the next Spellbook album. So, yeah, production has begun.
How's that going?
Awesome.
Well, going great. We have a team of producers working with us this time around. Dean Rispler from up in New York. Um, he's producing this one for us. He's also doing bass for us on the album, and we're recording at Anthony Esposito's studio. Who you may know from Lynch Mob, Ace Frehley,
Okay.
Jake E. Lee's Red Dragon Cartel. He's also produced a bunch of stuff like the Misfits. He's had his hand in Nimrod with for the Green Day's album Nimrod and the
Oh,
Ramones and everything. So yeah, he's co-producing the album with us, him and Dean, and so far so good. We got everything done that we wanted done over this past weekend, and we're taking a little bit break from studio to do two shows, yours included, and then
mhm.
after that we're going right back to get back to work on the next album.
Where's the other gig at for those that are watching?
tomorrow night
Tomorrow.
at Auto.
Hey,
So that'll be tomorrow night. Yep.
okay, okay. And where is the studio located? To let viewers know, these guys are in like the southern middle of Pennsylvania, York,
Yep.
PA. About 45 minutes, hour north of Baltimore, and
Yep.
maybe
Yeah.
half hour south of Harrisburg.
Yeah. Yeah. The studio it's a horse farm out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So yeah,
Awesome.
Anthony had a studio up in New York City for years.
Hmm.
And then he finally moved out of New York City, bought a horse farm down here in Pennsylvania, and set up
Okay.
a studio. So that's where we're at. It's not too far from us. I think it's about 20 minutes from
Well,
where
that's
Nick and
perfect.
I
Yeah,
live.
25
So,
minutes.
That's perfect. And
so yeah, it's great.
who was in the current lineup of Spellbook? I know that you have changed some personnel recently, at least one person.
Good, Nate.
Yeah, so on guitar we have Ryan Cooper and Greg Diener.
Okay.
Greg is from great doom metal band Pale Divine. Uh, we have two great lead guitar players with us now. And the bass situation, we're still currently auditioning for a permanent member. That's why Dean Rispler, our producer, he's taking over for bass duties on this album, and he's a monster bass player.
Okay.
So he'll be doing a session bass for the new album.
Okay. And you got a bass player coming to New York with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yep.
just kidding. Yeah, we have some buddies that have been filling in
Filling
for us on these past couple shows. So, but we're still open for auditions for a permanent member.
You've shot a few videos in the past. Let's talk a little bit about the video for the song "The Witch of," is it Ridley Creek?
Ridley Creek.
Ridley Creek or Ridley Creek? I can't talk all of a sudden. I've been working today, I guess. So what's that, for about 2, 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2022.
Yep.
Was that off the
Yeah.
Deadly Charms record?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Deadly Charms. Yeah, that was the main single I think off that record.
And
But yeah, that
let's talk a little bit about the video and the song, maybe.
yeah, that was shot in the backyard of our then bass player's house. Our buddies in another local band here in York called Cultic, they shot the video for us. They're very talented in production and video and stuff, so they um, shot the video for us. Kind of came up with the concept and everything behind it. And yeah, it was just basically an all-day shoot of us under the sun for 10 hours, baking and
Yeah.
shot after shot. But yeah, it turned out cool.
Of course, Nate transforms into, he's not, you're Nate still, but you transform into another character when you're on stage. So, I mean, it's kind of like your band is kind of theatrical too, in a way,
Yeah.
when you come out and you have some makeup or whatever on, and it's a very, very, very cool on stage experience, I believe, because I've only seen you once up here. Probably was what, maybe 2023 when you guys come up and played.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had some cool photos together, and of course we've got some cool photos. The old venue we were in had like this escape room, and it looked like a
Yeah.
dungeon. So that was
Yeah, we
Yeah.
took a lot of pictures in that
every
one.
band wanted to take pictures in there. Let's hear a little bit of the history of the band. Of course, Nate, and I don't know if both of you, there was a name change at one time, or was that a different band altogether?
Same band, same project.
Yeah.
Uh, we just happened to do the name change because of a lot of reasons. We
Mm-hmm.
were on the fence about changing the name for years because there was another we were known as Witch Hazel.
Witch Hazel, yep.
for 10 years. And there was another band called Witch Hazel in the UK that had gotten signed before us.
Okay.
So every time we'd start getting some label interest in our albums, they'd Google Witch Hazel and like, oh, well, there's already a Witch Hazel. So
Sure. Okay.
it got to the point where the name was holding us back. And
Hmm.
so we just decided to pull the trigger, change the name. We changed it to Spellbook. That was an old song title of ours in the Witch Hazel days. So we felt that name really lended itself to what we're all about, the lyrical stuff, the occult stuff, the fantasy stuff that we sing about. So yeah.
And
Nick,
will we go ahead?
Well,
Yep.
yeah.
do you
It's
have
it's
anything to
it's
add?
interesting. It's interesting when when people don't know anything about your band and they hear about the name change, and they're like, it's interesting to hear what people think. It's like, oh, they're starting a whole new band, and I get it, but it's not. You know what I mean? And it's like,
It was the exact same members from the
Yeah.
last Witch Hazel album to the first
yeah.
Spellbook album.
Okay.
The exact same
So
members.
we went in and recorded Magic and Mischief as Witch Hazel. We're gonna plan on putting out as Witch Hazel, and then when all the same shit kept happening again,
Mm.
and we knew it was gonna hold us back again, and we knew we really had a good one with that record. We're like, dude, we got it. We got to do it now. It's like now or never, or like we're just like gonna be cursed that we're never gonna get anywhere with this band because of this name. So it was not like, well, now we're Spellbooks, now we got to change our sound. It was that's how the next Witch Hazel record was going to sound. And so
And we heard that a lot. It was like, oh, you changed the name, so you went like a different, you went
Yeah.
more metal with that album. It's like, no, that was always going to be how that album
yep,
sounded, name change or not. Like
it was
those
just a
songs were
natural
written as Witch
progression.
Hazel, and to this day, like with new members coming and going, like it's for me, and I can speak for Nick as well. Like this has been the same project for the past 17 years, like
Yeah.
since we started this band.
Yeah.
So
So,
things happen. You just got to roll with the punches. But no, this has always been a singular direction,
so you
as
guys
far
have
as
been around.
artistic,
Yep.
what have you.
You guys have been around for 17 years. You and
Oh,
Nick
yeah,
have both
brother.
been in the band to start it off. And how many full-length albums or releases do you have? I know that you have. I have. I think one Witch Hazel vinyl that I bought from you at the gig, and then I have both of the Spellbook ones. So how many? Let's go back with the discography a little bit.
Nick, you got this one?
The first one, the first Witch Hazel is Forsaken Remedies. That was CD only.
Mm-hmm.
Then we recorded Otherworldly. All this was put out by ourselves, by the way. We did that on
Yep.
CD. We put it out Spotify, all that stuff, and then this label, a French label, if I remember correctly. Uh,
UK.
they were like, what? After a year after Otherworldly was out, like we got this message like how is this not released on vinyl or something? And we're like, what? Like, started reading into it, and this guy's like, dude, I want to put this out on vinyl. Like, I think he said like his daughter or somebody discovered us and was like, Dad, you got to hear this record.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he was just like blown away by it. He's like, why don't I know anything about you guys? We're like, well, it's just how it is. And he's like, well, this needs to be pressed on vinyl. And like, so he did like a very limited run. Um,
And
and
that's
like, I
what
don't,
you have, Stephen.
yeah, and
That's
that was all on his dime. Like, he did that just because he wanted that to exist in the world. So
Nice.
really, really
that
cool.
was Sugar Bush Records out of the
Yep.
UK.
Sugar Bush Records, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So then after that was the um
First Spellbook album,
yeah,
Okay.
Magic
Magic
and
and Mischief.
Mischief. And that's when we got Cruz del Sur music
Yep.
interested in us, and they put out that one, and then they put up the follow-up Deadly Charms. And I
So
failed to mention in between Forsaken and Otherworldly, we did a concept song like a 20, what is it, 28 minutes, 27
Yeah,
minutes?
28-minute concept song about vampires that never really saw the light of day.
And we had huge ambitions for that. We had a local guy who was going to put out this really limited vinyl in a wood crate. Like it was going to be fucking. It's going to come with vials of blood.
Oh shit.
We had all this shit lined up, and
It all fell through.
it
It
all fell
all fell
through.
through. It never saw the fucking light of day.
Yeah, and we
Well,
weren't
even
happy.
like during the recording of that album, our bass player back then quit
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
in the middle of recording that. So the whole thing was snake bit to begin with.
it was.
Um, but yeah, we try not to talk about that one.
Okay. So you guys have been around for many, many years, and look forward to having
2007.
2007. So we
Yeah.
look forward to having you back on this big uh thing I got, and I've got the poster. This is actually the old poster. It's got new ones today, but I forgot to bring it.
Oh, nice.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So I was out plastering these around town before, in between work and meeting up with you guys. Of course, Show University's replaced with Into the Void, and our good friends Militia, who are going to be such a good time because they hadn't played since 1990. One of them fell ill, so they're off the bill. So,
Yeah, that's a bummer.
and in fact, you guys are the long traveling band now because Malicious, one of the members was in the state of Florida and was
Holy
flying.
shit.
So you guys are coming
Yeah.
in from York, PA, about a 3 hour ride, I guess 3.5. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is the lineup. It's at the Warwick stage, and tickets are still available. Tickets are available at the door. Now the Demon, that's Primeval Tribulation. We got Brutality, Burn the Ships, Fire Haze, Sick Bay. Of course, you guys, Damage Inc. and Final Siege and Into the Void are on the bill now. It's going to be a good time, and we're in this. I don't know if you guys saw the video. Maybe you have. We put up last week or 2 weeks ago when I actually got to go to this venue for the first time. This is like the first metal show that ever happened there, and it is at an old prison that was built. I don't know exactly when, probably late 1800s. The stage was built by Eleanor Roosevelt.
Wow.
For
It looked insane. It
the
looks
prisoners
crazy.
to like learn the arts. And I've actually spoke with people that were living there at one time and said there was a lot of crazy stuff that went on in that building. And the guy that Matt, that's Diamond Grade, went in there, and we were joking about paranormal, and someone who else was there. They do paranormal activity there quite a bit in this building in one part of it. So if you're scared of ghosts, maybe you shouldn't come to the Rock thing. But it looks like
It's
Nate
gonna
will
be
be
a
all right.
spooky
He's got
show.
Freddy Krueger on the wall behind him. So
You should see the rest of the room here.
Ready room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my entire room here is all Freddy themed. So
Yeah, you guys were the best when you came to my store. And I forget, was it you, Nick, that said I'll get you in trouble now, maybe if I say this while we're taping. If my significant
cut,
other wasn't with
cut
me,
this
I would
out.
have probably spent $1,000.
Dude, I'm a huge vinyl guy, and your store is just like a dream store because not only do you
Thank
have the
you.
vinyl, you have the t-shirts, you have the Super 7. I am addicted to Super
Oh
7.
yeah,
I get
Super Sevens. Yeah,
dude,
this room's full of Super Sevens. I got all my Godzillas and my
yeah, man. Like
and
I
of
one
course,
day I would love to own my own record store, and it was like if it'd be half as cool as your store, that'd be amazing.
and Ronnie. Here's Ronnie James. I got Ronnie James hanging out,
Yes, sir.
and there's a million
Nice.
other ones behind me. But yeah, so what got you guys early influences? What were your like got you into say, hey, I'm going to start playing hard rock, heavy metal? Obviously, what were some of the bands that were pivotal, or like the first metal band you kind of locked on, first heard back in the day? Nick, you want to go
For
first?
me, Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne was my life.
Okay.
I wrote Ozzy on my knuckles every day at
Oh shit.
school. Uh, and then it was years like that. And then I had buddies who were really into Metallica and used to bust my balls about how Metallica is so much heavier than Sabbath. So we kind of fought at first, but then
Wow.
I listened to Metallica and they listened to Sabbath and they were like, "Holy fuck! I can't believe how heavy this is for '70, and I'm like, holy
Yeah.
fuck, I've never heard anything like Fight Fire with Fire. And so then I got into Metallica, and then the rest is history.
Cool. Well, it's kind of cool that we have a Metallica and a Black Sabbath band playing.
Yeah, man, that'd be perfect.
What about you, Nate?
My first obsession was Kiss.
Okay.
My mom had Destroyer and Kiss Alive on vinyl. And one of my first memories as like a 3-4 year old kid was just flipping through these things that I didn't even know what they were.
Yeah.
And seeing, just pictures of like Elton John and Duran Duran and then Kiss. It's like, holy shit, that, album cover of Destroyer is iconic,
Oh, yeah, sure.
So that blew my mind. And then what really blew my mind is I kept flipping through, and then I see an actual photo of those comic book characters like on stage with Kiss Alive. So, well, what the fuck is this? Yeah, just instantly obsessed with Kiss. That was my first thing. And then after that, like just getting obsessed with like the 1970s, like as a 10-year-old. Finally started getting into more like punk rock music. The theatrics of Kiss, I really got into the Misfits because of that. Like they still like had that imagery, like that vibe to them. Was really into that. And then I think once I finally bought Metallica's Kill 'Em All, that was the game changer. I was full blown diehard metalhead ever since. Thrash metal, ate it up. I was a sponge for anything like true metal, death metal, black metal, thrash metal, power metal, doom metal, new wave of British heavy metal, prog metal, all of it. I ate it all up. Yes. And we're going to Wacken this year for the first time. I'm super fucking psyched.
So you're going to Wacken to watch?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So God, could you imagine if we're playing Wacken?
For a minute, I didn't know. I said, "Hey, we're
I'd probably read
with
with that."
And I'm like, "Okay, man, that's cool." I know that our buddies Firehaze that are on the bill too have been playing. I don't know. They've been playing all these contests to win a trip to Wacken, and I don't know. I know they had one over the weekend. I don't know if it's still active. I don't know. Someone votes on this, or I think they were.
Yeah, I think that's nationwide.
Yeah, I saw something going on in Florida like that. So
there's like a Baltimore one happening or some shit. But
yeah, probably. I just bought tickets. I'm not going the whole weekend, but I did get tickets for the Sunday of the Maryland Death Fest.
Oh, hell yeah.
With Incantation and Crisian, who I'm good friends with both of them. John, of course, McAtee is always on the channel.
Yep.
And Dark Funerals there, the Celtic Frost set by Triptychon.
Yeah.
It just looks like Nile. This looked like the day to go, and I'd never been to an MDF, but
oh man, yeah, I try to go every year. We're going to be going this year too. Not sure what year or what day. What
day? Sunday.
We can go Sunday too. Who knows?
Sunday is the
I'd
day.
love to see it. I'd love to see. There's a couple bands, and that's the shitty thing about Maryland Death Fest. Unless you get the entire weekend pass, they announce the bands, and it's like, oh my god, Witchcraft and Ice, Imperial Crystalline Entombment. I have that demo cassette. But they're all playing in different days, and it's like, man, I can't do all every day. Yeah. But we will definitely be there for one of the days.
No, sounds good. That sound like a party, and of course, we talked about influences. I don't know if I have many more questions. The new album that you're working on, is that on a label too? Or are you still with the same label, or?
This one is not on a label. This is our first one since Magic and Mischief that we're just doing all independently, and then once it's done, we're going to be shopping it around.
Okay.
To labels. So if you know anybody at Metal Blade Records, let me know.
Well, he's been on the channel on Pete Pardo's channel. Brian has, but I don't really talk to him very often. But Brian Slagle, if you're watching, check him out, I guess. And Yeah, I lost my mindset there. It's been a long couple days. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Are you gonna play anything new? You got a new song you're gonna debut yet, or are you still waiting?
Yeah, I
Not a,
think you're gonna hear something new.
yeah.
So I guess that could kind of wrap this up. Earlier tonight we were talking about pro wrestling because Nate likes pro wrestling like I do. Story's kind of built on that too because we used to do tons of pro wrestling signings and everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just at a pinball convention over the weekend, and Rebby Hardy was up there, Matt's wife, and
Oh
Rebby.
yeah, yeah. I saw you with a picture with her. Yeah.
She actually designs custom pinball machines. She just did the Hangover,
Wow.
and then
What?
yeah, she did the Hangover pinball, and then the year before she did one. Boy, my memory deceives me now, but they also did a Hardy Boys Expedition of Gold pinball, which was, if you remember, when the Hardys were in the Independents at that time, they were going around.
Collecting belts.
I loved that gimmick from them, and I actually found out that I've never gotten a picture with Matt or with Jeff, and they're actually going to be doing an independent around this area a couple weeks from now. So I may maybe go to the show. No.
Yeah, they're not currently signed to anybody
They're
right
just
now.
they're TNA world champs, right?
Oh, they are on TNA. That's right.
But I don't know. And I think, didn't they show up? I think they might have showed up on NXT lately, or someone said something about that.
Oh
Maybe,
yeah, because
but
NXT and Impact or TNA,
yeah, work
they
together.
have like a joint
Yeah.
partnership right now.
Okay.
So that would make sense.
So we're way off subject. There's gonna be metal purists that are going, what are they talking about pro wrestling for it?
All right, so who do you got at WrestleMania this weekend?
I I don't watch much WWE.
Are you serious?
No, I watch mostly AEW and more of the independents, but I
My
did
man, same
I,
here. Fuck WWE
I
and
did
fuck
see
CM Punk.
it's like what's the big event? It's Cena and Cody.
Rollins and
Rhodes, right?
somebody else.
Yeah. I like Penta a lot, and Penta's in WWE and Fennec.
Penta rules. Yeah, I'm
I
I'm
love
super
Penta.
happy that Penta made it to that stage. You know what I mean?
I miss
But
I miss Penta and his brother when they were in TNA because they used to war with LAX, and I had some of
oh
the
man,
best
yeah,
matches back then when before AEW started. But
yeah, yeah,
we're way off subject now. We should be talking about Rock, I guess. But we'll talk some pro wrestling when I see you in person next.
yeah, yeah.
We should have probably booked a pro wrestling card along with this. Maybe next
Are
time.
you kidding me? Let's get this happening.
We did it one year. We had an independent backyard wrestling federation that did a match that two of my friends were involved during a set that we did with a band. I had a fun band called DCM back in the day. We had a pro wrestling skit, and it didn't really go over that well with the crowd. People were like, people were booing.
What do you mean?
They're like, oh, come on. So, how do we find Spellbook? Just do you have you got your Facebook, you got Instagram, all that stuff?
Yeah, everything is Spellbook band, um, Facebook, Instagram, Spellbook band at bandcamp.com.
Okay.
Um, again, we're still auditioning for permanent bass players. If anybody's interested, hit us up. Spellbookband at gmail.com. But until then, we're just going to be working our asses off in the studio for this next album.
And we look very forward. It's a week from tomorrow that we will be in Warwick at this new venue with all these cool bands, and we're gonna have a good metal fest that day. So look forward to having you guys there, and hope you do come to the store earlier in the day and maybe take a couple
Yeah.
pictures if
What
you're
time
there.
you got to be there till, Stephen?
The store is open from 12 to 5. I won't be there much because I'm going to be near down at the venue setting up.
Okay.
Frank, who works for me, will most likely be the guy at the shop. And of course, Rose may be there a little bit, but she plans on coming down early. But that's all has to be worked out yet because Frank, the madman he is driving to Reading, Pennsylvania on Friday night to see the Machine Head, Lacuna Coil, and In Flames tour.
Oh wow.
He's staying in a hotel, and so you guys might see him on the highway coming back.
Hey, that's right, Steven. You're going to that Slayer show at Hershey, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Our guitar player Coop, he'll be there too. So keep an eye out for him.
You're going to it or no? Just
Our guitar player's
your
going.
guitar player's going, yeah. Seems like everybody and their brother's going to that from up this way, and I that Hershey Park is going to be invaded by metalheads that weekend.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Wow. I talked to people from the city coming in. I'm sure people are going to fly into that from around the area, from around the country, around the world. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope they do.
It's a
I hope
great
they do.
lineup,
It'd be
and
great.
I've been to a couple. The last show I went to at Hershey Park Stadium was Kiss with Nugent and Skid Row. And it was
Oh,
like 2000. It was their reunion or farewell. No, it was Kiss farewell. And
well, I was at that show. Yeah.
Skid
I
Row
thought you
came
were,
out
yeah.
and like Kiss might be retiring. I almost in my Paul Stanley voice, but Skid Row, we're starting out now. Whoever it was Skid Row then. It wasn't Sebastian Bach, I don't think. But of course,
Yeah.
that was one farewell tour we were at.
Wow.
I saw Kiss 3 times at Hershey Park.
Did you?
Yeah, it was Ace was gone the first time, but Peter Criss was still there.
Oh,
So I don't know if that was the farewell or not.
That was right after Psycho Circus, right?
maybe.
Yeah. They had already gotten rid of Ace, but Peter Criss was still in the band. That was the first time. Then the second time was the big double bill, Aerosmith and Kiss.
Wow. Yeah.
And then the third time was Kiss and I think Saliva opened up.
Wow, that's a weird mix.
Yeah.
Click, pull.
It was a bummer.
Yeah, when I was there, what we did, this was so long ago. It was with an employee that I had, another friend that still works in the pro wrestling business. He actually has something to do with the ECW Arena building. Runs the Battleground Wrestling Federation down there. We all went. We drove down. We got the room, and neither one of them had gone on roller coasters, but we were caught up in the whole Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it was like, we're at a Kiss concerts. There's roller coasters here. And I talked my one friend into going on. And it was funny because he was kind of scared of and he was a big pro wrestling fan. I said, now if Hulk Hogan was here and went on that roller coaster, would you go on? And he's like, of course I would. And I'm like, well, just pretend he's there. So got him on roller coasters. It was a long time ago, but it was a fun weekend. Now we talk about the group I'm going with down now is that we got to go and ride some coasters. I'm sure Hershey Park will be so crowded. It'll probably take 3 hours to get on one coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, around that time of year, absolutely.
Especially with 20,000 Slayer fans showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be vacationing there for the weekend.
For sure. So, thanks for giving your time to the channel tonight. And I hope everybody goes and checks out Spellbook, even if they're not in the local area or pretending to go to the show, because people watch this channel all over the place. So check out Spellbook if you like 70s styles metal. Like we kind of already explained that already, so we don't have to explain it again, but check them out.
70s metal sounds right.
70s metal and new wave and some occult and some theatrics and good stuff. So thanks for watching the channel tonight, and we'll see you next time on the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel.